Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. In this webinar, we will talk about DevOps culture and operational responsibilities. My name is Coco Lee. I am the marketing manager of DASA. I will be your host and moderator of today's webinar. If you have any questions during the webinar or after the webinar, please put them in Twitter and use the hashtag DASAchat or email them to us. We will follow them up. I'm so pleased to be joined by Sam Rosbergen, DevOps Agile ITIL Cultural Change Consultant at Brunel. Hi Sam, thank you for joining me today. Would you please take a moment to introduce yourself?
Hi, Coco. First of all, thank you for having me. I am a IT manager, process manager, service delivery manager, and DevOps change consultant with 12 years of experience in IT. And I've been asked by DASA to do this webinar, and I hope I can make it very interesting.
Thank you so much, Sam. For those of you who join us for the first time, let me do a quick introduction. DASA is an open source association that has built a competence model and accreditation scheme for DevOps training and certification. We are an open and independent association that is working with more than 300 partners that include training and consulting companies, corporates, ambassadors, and content development teams. Organizations use the DASA model and instrument and work together, further enhancing this instrument to support the DevOps journey of organization. Hi, Sam. I'm going to hand it over to you now.
Welcome. So this is the agenda for today. I'm going to talk about DevOps culture and what it is. I'm going to share my thoughts on promoting DevOps culture. I'm going to share my thoughts about designing the DevOps organization, and then hopefully come to a logical conclusion. Okay, so what is DevOps culture? If you look at the Wikipedia definition, it's social behavior and norms in groups. But what is DevOps culture? DevOps culture creates a safe working environment where learning and experimentation is stimulated. In comparison, traditional IT has more silos, more authorization steps, and stricter controls. This severely restricts creativity and slows down delivery of applications. So how do you promote DevOps culture? There is a difference between Agile and DevOps transformations. You can start working with Scrum today during a project, but you can't start DevOps in the middle. DevOps needs a strategy first and the technical capabilities to perform. If you look at the differences between Agile and DevOps, to me, Agile is more a process and a way of working, and DevOps is the technical enabler of Agile-minded businesses. At DevOps companies, we're used to doing iterative chunks of code, and the same goes for DevOps transformations. You will need to take little steps, get feedback, and continue. The governance and management structures need to be changed to support self-organizing and cross-functional teams. Without this, it's impossible to move to a DevOps way of working. These are the steps needed to start a transformation to a DevOps organization. First, you determine if DevOps is right for your organization. You decide on a correct or right DevOps culture. You plan the future state, and then how to get there. This is done by the management layers. This is all preparation before you go into a DevOps transformation. It also helps to be agile minded or have an agile working state before you move to DevOps. Then you reorganize, create the technology needed to work in a DevOps way, and assess the maturity of the teams. After implementing all these steps, the most important step is measuring the success of the teams and the transformation, and this is an ongoing learning process. If you have an environment where mainframes are still being used, or you use your own data centers, implementing DevOps can be tough. Mainframes or data centers do not allow for fast deployment of software. If you have vendor or support contracts and suppliers that are responsible for managing the legacy systems or the data centers, getting access for your own engineers might be impossible. So traditional IT contracts simply aren't built to enable DevOps. If you run into these issues, you might need to renegotiate the contracts with your suppliers, and hopefully they will enable you to work in a DevOps way. In the end, it's wise to create a business case. How much will moving from mainframes to cloud cost? And will the increased speed of delivery justify the investment? Going through a DevOps transformation is going to take investments of time and money to reorganize and create the needed IT architecture. DevOps transformations take time before the desired speed of delivery and stability can be achieved. Management needs to realize this very, very important fact. Cost saving is not the goal of an agile or DevOps transformation initially, or definitely not the initial goal. IT is disrupting every business on the planet. For some sectors like banks, it is vital that new technology is embraced. Collaboration and innovation needs to be stimulated. If you do not adapt, your company disappears. To ensure maximum adaptation by the teams, I suggest reserving at least 10% of the backlog space to enable the transformation of the teams. If you communicate this as a leader to both business and teams, they will have achievable goals and less stress from the business complaining about the velocity of the team. Gemba walks are management visits where the management directly talks to the different teams. This way, you might get very important information from the teams, which might not have been communicated otherwise. Planning the future state. Without a solid business case, your transformation might be terminated quickly. It's very important to not only promote the cultural part, but also the cost effectiveness of a DevOps transformation. This way, your management will be more willing to support the complete transformation. When transforming an organization, you need to formulate a minimal viable organization and desired end state. Your vision, mission, and goals need to align business wants and needs with IT delivery. Designing the roadmap. So now that you've defined the short and long-term goals, you need to figure out how to get there. Define the minimal viable situation for these three fields: the people, the processes, and the tools. Creating a dedicated culture team helps with promoting DevOps and communicating transformation successes. Like the technical side of DevOps, the cultural side also needs continuous improvement. When management supports learning and allows for a safe working environment, the success of the transformation increases dramatically. It makes no sense to try and become a DevOps organization when your own teams are still split between operations and developers. Creating a true DevOps team includes the input from the business through the PO role and ends when the life cycle of the product ends. When your organization has a lot of externals, a lot of suppliers, integrate those into the teams. And finally, organize your teams on the same product line or technology. Creating the needed technology for the DevOps transformation. By creating microservices, you reduce the impact of failures. Your organization needs to be ready to test and release code quickly to enable the DevOps way of working. Collaboration tools help the teams to learn from each other faster and increase communication speed. And again, everything must be automated and monitored so faster feedback can happen. This is vital to the DevOps way of working. For instance, automated monitoring can send automated incidents to the correct solution teams, which saves a lot of resolution time. When assessing DevOps maturity, there are many tools and reports you can use. For instance, you can use the DASA competence scan and the competence model. Both will show you what DevOps skills are lacking in the teams, and this focuses primarily on the people skills part. With the Puppet report, you can compare your own organization and create improvements from there. The report focuses on the technical part. And of course, you create your own measurements of maturity. For instance, how much downtime do our deployments create, or how many incidents are reported per month. Implementing and measuring. I strongly believe that ITIL and DevOps can live together. For instance, in the agile way of working, there are spikes. These are issues that require more investigation or sprints to solve. You can link spikes to ITIL problem management. Change management can still be done even if you automate your releases, and registering change approvals can be vital to your audit requirements. Documentation is still important, whether it's technical documentation or registering changes. If you do not register a change and you leave the office, your colleagues would not know where to start looking when incidents occur. Creating standard dashboards will help the teams with their initial setup, and after that, the teams can set up their own dashboard needs. Breaking rules in DevOps is just as bad as in any other traditional IT organization. That's why the processes and controls are still there. The DevOps culture of teams can help solve cultural resistance, and if that doesn't help, escalation towards the PO and middle management is still the solution, just like traditional IT organizations. And again, monitoring and measuring everything is still very important, even in a DevOps organization. In conclusion, DevOps culture starts with everybody. In order for the transformation to be a success, the whole organization needs to work together, from upper management to teams. I suggest reserving 60% of the sprint for the creation of business value, 20% for operational activities, 10% for continuous learning, and 10% for the transformation itself. And always remember, DevOps is not only about freedom, getting more rights, and getting trust. Countless studies have shown the effectiveness.
If you have any questions, please put them in Twitter and use the hashtag DASAchat, or email them to us. We will follow them up. I would like to thank you, each of you, for joining Sam and me today. Sam, it's my pleasure to have this session with you. Thank you so much for your expertise and for your passion. Have a nice day. Bye for now.